All right, you need to stop leveling. Don't give me that face.
I can't stop. I'm right there.
Don't give me that face, and don't say I can't stop, because there's gonna be a song. There will be a song. Holy crap! All right, so we're actually going 5 minutes early this week because, well, we need to get back to leveling. So we're here to spend time with you guys. So, Poke, do the dance really quickly. Awesome. Alrighty, guys, here we go.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Knights of Deathbridge proudly brings to you Warcraft Nightly News with your hosts, Darrick Scott and Poke Soul. Good evening and welcome to Warcraft Nightly News. We're the only broadcast that happens to go live early so we can continue leveling. I am your host, Darrick Scott. With me is the man, the myth, and the guy that has all of the totems, Poke. On this week's show, we're going to break down the good, the bad, and the absolute fantastical, great, awesome goodness of Legion and this expansion, because let's face it, that's what everybody has been doing since Tuesday. So, Poke, how's it going?
It is wonderful, sir. How are you today?
I don't think I can complain. I've been doing questing chains and stuff like that. A little grumpy, but not so bad yet. I had to get out of the Storm Mountain because I fucking hate that place. Hate that place. Absolutely cannot stand that. Cannot stand that. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do a makeshift lore piece here later on, and it's not gonna be a real lore piece. More of a questioning of why.
I guess I kind of lucked out because I picked High Mountain first, and
I wish I had started there so I could have been angry and then gone into other places and gone, hey, this isn't so bad.
Now you know why I was complaining about leveling so slow. My first 3 levels took me like 3 days, and then after I left that zone, I was like, this is so much easier. This why?
All right. Well, Poke, you know what? Let's start off by letting people know how they can get in touch with us. We're gonna do this a couple of times throughout this episode.
Yeah, we're gonna go straight for it today.
That's right.
All right. If you want to contact us as a whole on Twitter, hit us up at KOD Gaming 1.
You can get in touch with me at Darrick_Scott.
And you can get in touch with me at PokeSoul. Also, guys, feel free to email us at knightsofdeathbridgegaming@gmail.com. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/knightsofdeathbridge. Also, please subscribe on YouTube and hit us up if you have any questions, comments. You think Darrick's terrible, you think Darrick's wonderful, whatever the case may be, just hit us up and let us know.
Just so you guys know, I will thumbs down the ones where people are saying I'm terrible. I won't.
I will definitely give them a thumbs up, though.
Okay. All right. All right. So with that being said, we have to throw a shout out to Skatronics.com. Skatronics.com is home of the nerdy pop culture, and each week they let us show our show over on their website, and they're awesome people with great articles. So guys, I would like you to head on over to skitronics.com. Now it's right down below us. That does have 3 X's, not 2 X's, because that is some shady business. Triple X is the way to go. So guys, head on over to skitronics.com. Let everybody know that we say hello. Alrighty, so Poke, Legion dropped.
That it did.
Yes, and well, we've done a lot of speculating because we didn't get the beta back when we were on that other show. So a lot of it was us having to speculate if something was going to be good, bad, or indifferent. So let's start with the good. What are you thinking of this expansion? What is going right with this expansion? What is good for you?
Well, okay. First of all, I want to say, going into the last expansion, I was very open with the fact that I thought it was going to be fantastic. I was very excited about it. It was a part of the lore that I was very interested in, and I think we all know along the way we talked about the fact that they kind of dropped the ball in some places. There was some very rich lore they could have went into, and they kind of screwed the pooch on that. They also had some spots where
Wait a minute. You are you saying that Archimonde's a pooch?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So, and just all along the way there was fumbles and missteps and things like that. I'm sure we'll be making jokes about them for many, many glorious expansions to come. As in, I think we were all playing last night, and we were talking about some stuff, and I said that somebody must have done this in their time over the weekend. So little bits and pieces there that I'm sure we'll make fun of for a very long time. Yeah. But we all know that we were both very excited about that expansion, and right off the bat, the leveling went really fast, which was nice, sort of. But at the same time, there was just a lot of missteps where it didn't really make you feel like you wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
So far with this one, I would say that it's completely opposite.
Yeah.
First of all, at first I thought the leveling was terribly slow. I was like, oh my God, this is taking forever. But I was in High Mountain and didn't realize that High Mountain is by far the slowest zone. It's because of how three-dimensional it is. Everything is three-dimensional across the board, of course, but High Mountain is very up and down and not... It's horizontal at all.
It's more up and down than most pornos.
That's true.
And yeah.
So across the board, I would say I love the leveling experience. It's very intriguing, drags you in, keeps you wanting to do the next quest. I will say I feel like killing mobs gives very little experience.
Yeah.
And doing dungeons gives very little experience, which I know in the past people have used dungeon grinding to level, and I think they're trying to push people away from that. Dungeons are meant for gearing and the experience of doing that thing in that dungeon. It's not about just sitting in them and doing dungeon after dungeon after dungeon to level, and I understand why they went away from that. But I'd say overall, the experience I've had with the game so far, I'm about 9 bubbles out from being 110. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the questing in a whole is good. There are things that could be fixed, and that's why I'm not going to say it's great. But the questing as a whole is very, very good. And that's the one that sticks out in my mind the most right now. The area of the game that falls into that category of not spectacular, but not anywhere near bad either. It's very good and very enjoyable.
Yeah. So I've got a confession to make to everybody. I have 2 110s already. I've done. It's so bad. I know. I haven't slept a lot since Legion has dropped. The leveling process this time around, I find, is good. but at the same time it's bad. Okay, there's the opposite side of the coin. So because this is the good section, we'll talk about that. I like the idea that we have choice, that we can start wherever we want, and don't feel the need like we have in the other expansions where you go into a zone, you get your 2 levels, move to your next zone. You stay there, and the mobs and the the experience for the quests scales up to you. So now it is much more encompassing to if you start in the high mountain and you want to stay there and you want to finish out the your 7 chapters, so that for when you're trying to do the Legion Pathfinder, you're already well on your way. I like that idea. I really honestly do. And I will say that I preferred leveling in Draenor over this, because in Draenor it was quicker. It really was. I did not start in Stormy Peaks 2.0, but I did. I started in Azura, and then I went to Vagisil, Druid Vag, and then across over to Stormheim, and I skipped High Mountain altogether on my first tune. On my second tune, you were lucky. On my second tune, I went from Azura up to Druid Vag, and then to and hit 110 in High Mountain, and I'm like, oh god. And I finished off all of the questings and stuff like that. Like I've legitimately hit all of the major areas. Now, I really like the idea of choice. I like the fact that if you are a grinder, you could legitimately stay in one zone and get to 110, because you hit 101. The experience scales up for doing a quest. The experience scales up while you're killing mobs. I do agree that it seems like the scaling is off slightly. When you get to the 109 stage, it seems like instead of getting 1,000 experience for every mob you kill, you're only getting like 800 and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now the quest, I felt like went exactly opposite that though. Like when I went from 108 to 109, my quest jumped in so much experience. I was like, this hasn't happened so far. Like obviously they went up a little each time, but going from 108 to 109, I was like, I'm getting like 4,000 more experience per quest. I haven't seen a jump like that yet, so that's kind of weird. But
now, something that I have found absolutely hilarious. Okay, we have had several guild members, and okay, so this is going into the great file, but I need to point it out right now. This expansion is so good. The other night, I looked down at our guild roster, and we had 43 people online. Not a single one of them were in their garrison. And
yeah, and like that's the whole whatever you want to call it. I hate saying that everything is phased, because it's not. Yes, everything is phased to some extent, but you can be in a party with someone who's 4 levels lower than you, and the thing that you're killing together is their level and your level, and you're both getting experience based on your level. It's such a phenomenal thing, and it allows you to go back to these previous zones and still benefit
from them.
Obviously, yes, once you're max level, you're not going to get experience, but it's still going to feel challenging. You're still going to benefit from them. You're still going to get gold based on your level. Like It's beneficial to everyone as a whole, not beneficial to, oh, that zone is for level 102.
Yeah.
Only level 102s go there.
Yeah.
If you're level 108, you're just in there farming.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And so that in that aspect, it's good. I did prefer the way that they did the leveling in Draenor. It was a little bit faster, and we were able to do something that we aren't really able to do this expansion, which kind of drove me a little bit nuts, and is that giant grouping of quests. You know, like you hit one hub and you pick up like 12 quests, and you just do this like big circle of that area, and then you turn them all in. Now it's a lot of, you do 3 quests, turn them in, get 3 more, go back out, and so instead of it feeling like a leveling experience, it just makes it kind of feel like I'm an arch druid, but I'm a giant errand boy. And that to me seems to take away some of that idea and the fantasies of the fact that we are the leader of our classes, but we're just ultimately an errand boy. Would you see it?
I am annoyed by the fact that you can't get a ton of quests and go out and do them, but I actually see it exactly opposite of that. It's you're doing these things to help this specific person.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like you're moving on and you're helping this specific person, like you are the leader, like you are who they are going to turn to do these things when no one else will do them. Okay. Now, there are a few that I agree felt kind of errand boyish, where it was like, what do you mean go pick up drums? Like, couldn't you send
that guy?
Like, this dude standing over here to go get the drums from across the bridge. Like, that's literally right across the bridge. Like,
hey, look.
Why
See that guard?
Go pick up the drums?
See this guard that is just padding all around the same area, and maybe send him. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, let me fucking micromanage this a little bit here.
Like, if it was like go to this cave and kill this monster and take the drum from him. Okay. I understand that this guard can't do that.
I've got these really cool weapons, and I can go rawr, and that sort of thing. Go kill them, but you want me to kick fish back into the river?
You have no idea how long I spent kicking fish up and down the bank, like just like away from the water, just kicking them. And my wife is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is so much fun." I was kicking the fish up the hill, like all the way up the hill as far as it will go. It was great.
I was kicking them into Thunder Totem. There's fish all along the top rim, and they're all from me. And I'm watching people, and they're running past. And they stop, they look, and they see a fish on the platform, and they all stare at it. And then somebody walks to the edge, and you know that they took their camera and they panned down. If I kick this fish, is it gonna survive? It's like that one was great. Now,
that's one of the good things too. On the good side, like there was a lot of different things to do.
Yeah.
I wish it felt more like, hey,
I remember
while you're here, go ahead and kick that fish back in the water. Instead of it being like, oh, the main thing I want you to do is kick these fish into the water.
I remember what it was that we were talking about. The
caves, wasn't
yes,
it?
It was the caves. It was the caves. To the guy that created the new cave models, well done.
Yes.
But at the same time, fuck you. You made too many of them. No more cave quests.
I can't guarantee you that I have been in the same cave twice in this expansion so far. Like, at least in 2 different spots, that is. Like, before, there were 3 cave models in the entire game.
Yep.
Now there's like 40 for one expansion.
Yep. Yeah.
Not complaining.
No.
Great job. Way to keep it different, guys. Like, that's awesome.
Okay, way too many goddamn cave quests. I swear to God, I've spent more time in caves than Al-Qaeda.
goes back to the three-dimensional thing.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like I don't know how many times I've got to a spot and been like, all right, the quest giver is supposed to be right here, and then come to find out I've got to go 500 miles north, 200 miles east, climb up a tree, drop down off of a tree, run across a bridge. I'm just like, oh my god.
And just to go into the cave that technically was the exact same cave as the one that was way up there that you first started in. And if you had jumped off and you were a demon hunter and you glided down, you could have got to that quest chain. I was like, are you kidding?
A friend of mine told myself, my wife, he's like, just grab some kites and some whatever the thing is that gives you water walking, and you'll be fine. And I was like, ha, she plays a mage, I play a shaman, we're good.
Yeah.
How many times we were doing slow fall, water walking, like, I can't imagine doing it without all that. Like, it would have been so frustrating.
So, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
Okay. Go.
All right. Am I supposed to say it out loud?
Well, yeah, because how the fuck would I know what's in your head?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I didn't know what you wanted me to do.
I get seriously.
I'm gonna go with trusty old 5.
Can you pick a different number?
Okay, 7.
All right, so we're gonna go to the bad. Okay, so for everything that we talk about, we're gonna do the good, the bad, and the great. So the bad in the questing. High mountain.
Yeah. Well, again, like it's kind of both sides. Three-dimensional was good. Three-dimensional was also bad. Like,
this is in the very first in Cataclysm. I remember the second zone that I did, which was Vishir, and I was playing with my wife, and everything being so three-dimensional, but you could swim up and swim down. She hated it. In fact, actually, there were several times where she started crying because she couldn't find.
She was super happy to have to go back and deal with that on her shaman quest.
Oh, she hasn't done that yet. In fact, actually, I am waiting to hear the screams from the other room because she's about to get there. But you know, this time around, this is the first time in since we haven't had flight that I've actually gone, holy shit, I wish I had flight.
I agree. Like
and it was that particular zone. None of the other zones are this bad. But
I liked the launcher, the chain launcher thing, and the little hooks that you hooked onto.
Yeah, that's in Stormheim.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm saying overall the three-dimensional situation. Like,
yeah,
I enjoyed that, and I'm going, why didn't, like, if these other zones are even more three-dimensional than Stormheim, why didn't we?
Yeah, I was doing the leather working quest, and there is this quest where you actually have to go and find tanning racks around High Mountain, and I was like, oh, this shouldn't be so bad. Oh shit! It was the worst quest I've ever done. It was easier to kill heroic freaking raid bosses solely than it was to find this one tanning rack that took me 8 hours to find it, 3 different YouTube videos, because it's on the fucking top of a mountain that when I got up there on my demon hunter, this mountain is so goddamn high that when I hit glide jumping off of it, I made it to the bottom of the map in Suminar. Like, who the crap? And yet I get a hook shot or a grappling hook for Stormheim to go up to this one little step. Screw you! Give me the goddamn hook shot or give me back flight. Now, what? With that being said, the storyline was great. I enjoyed the storyline
Yeah, it's
of
like
High
all along the
Mountain.
way, like the stories have been very intriguing. Like, and
Yeah.
High Mountain's no different. It was very intriguing. It was just, I mean,
Um,
literally 3 days of playing to get those first 3 levels. I mean, yeah, I wasn't playing all day every day. I had to work, but I mean, it took me as long to get from 100 to halfway through 102 as it has taken me to get from 102 to 109.
yeah.
Like, it really has. Like, High Mountain was so much slower than the other zones. Like, it just drug on and on and on. I was like, God.
So my thinking was, and I was taking some notes last night while I was trying not to fall asleep. If they had taken High Mountain and Suminar and flipped them, you haven't done Suminar yet, and they flipped them so that High Mountain was the max level quest zone, where you could have where you get a world quest to be able to do to because they've got an Aviana's feather again, but you don't get it until a max level and crap like that. It would be more advantageous to do it that way, or to add some sort like there. I don't know. They need to add like elevators or something to these mountains so that it's a little bit more accessible and a little smoother of a go for that particular mountain or that zone. Now, the great. What so far has been the greatest part about the leveling?
About leveling, there's a lot of good things. Everything everything about it in general is good. But if I had to say that there are things that are great about it, it is that intriguing. Like, every quest line means something. Every quest line has its own little story. Um, I'm actually interested in completing that quest line. That and the I don't know if I want to combine these two, but they kind of do fit together. Leveling up that artifact, like doing a quest line, and when I pick up I like the last 4 expansions, I would pick up a quest. It didn't matter what that reward was. It did not matter what the reward was. I would just click accept on the quest. Now when I walk up and it pops up and I see that I have a choice of what I can pick, and I also get artifact power, I am reading my choices.
Yep.
And I'm going, what do I get? Like, what? Oh man, oh, this is gonna do this. This is gonna do that. It's gonna give me this many item levels. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, that care being back is, in my opinion, is the greatest part of the leveling, because I care what my character is going to do next. I care what I'm picking up. It's not about give me experience and shut up and go away.
Yeah.
It's about, and that could also have something to do with the fact that, like I said last week, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to take my time with this. Obviously, we're not even through the first week, and I'm going to probably hit max, if not tonight, tomorrow. So I didn't really take my time, but I did take my time because, like Draenor, I'm sure if we go back and listen to our videos from that, I believe, if I'm correct, almost all of us that play together were max in like 3 days.
Yep.
So, I mean, it really, like, yes, 3 days versus a week, but I also had 4 days off this week. And still am hitting 109, 110 at the end of the week. So
by the time we did that show for Draenor, I had 4 characters at max level, and I was already working, or I'd already figured out how to power level. So I could go from 90 to 100, and at that time it was just under 5 hours from start to finish. By the end of that expansion, I got it down to 2 hours. This time, I haven't even started thinking about that. I leveled my 2 characters. I've got a farmer, and I've got my main.
See, it's so strange because different people could take it different ways. And as I said before we started the show, this is really an opinion show
Yeah.
because it's really our opinion. Because some people would say, "Oh, the leveling takes longer." That's awesome. Some
Yeah.
people would say, "Oh, the leveling takes longer. I'm not going to play this. It's stupid." I think it's back closer to what it was with games like Wrath and BC and even um, Kata to some extent. Mist sped up a little bit. Draenor was obviously like, bam, you're done.
Yeah.
It slows you down a little bit. I don't think it's anything they've done except for limiting the amount of quests and making the areas way more three dimensional.
Yeah.
Like I'll be halfway across the zone and realize I just ran into a mountain. I'm gonna have to run back halfway across this zone to get to a road
Yeah.
and follow that road. Like you almost have to follow the roads now. You take a shortcut, it's probably not going to be a shortcut.
Yeah, yeah, you're
So-
gonna. Well, it may be a shortcut, but you're gonna fall off of a mountain, and you're gonna die, and then you're gonna have to take res sickness. I've taken more res sickness this
Yep.
expansion than I have any expansion, and not. I know that this is kind of one of those things. This is a good and a bad all at the same time. The design is impeccable. It is.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
absolutely impeccable.
everything looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it really does. Like, and I don't know that I've ever said that about an expansion, but everything, like my wife even mentioned, she's like, "Man, this area looks insane. Like this looks beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah, this is crazy." And it's every area. Every area looks so different. They feel so different. They play differently. Like they've really done a good job setting up this expansion. It's almost sad that I've burned through the areas in a week.
I have gone. I've actually. Well, you haven't, and that we'll get to that here in a second. Now, I went back to Draenor after I hit 110 on my Demon Hunter. Okay, where I could glide and I could go and fly and stuff like that. And what I have found, and somebody is going to send some hate mail to me. So, Poke, you might as well tell people how they can get in touch with us again.
All right, especially if you want to send a hate mail to Darrick, you can hit us up as a whole at KOD Gaming 1 on Twitter.
You can get in touch with me at Darrick_Scott.
That's where you will want to send all of the hate mail. You can get in touch with me if you want to say nice things, because I don't say terrible stuff, at PokeSoul. You can also email us at knightsofdeathbridgegaming@gmail.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/knightsofdeathbridge. And you can like us on YouTube, comment on the YouTube channel, please. Like that's a big thing. Get on YouTube, comment on our channel, let us know what you think. Please, 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 please.
Okay, so I went back to Draenor, and I started looking around from the perspective of what I've experienced in Legion, and oh my fucking god, there no word of a lie. Blizzard did not intend on putting flight into Draenor. There is such a massive difference between Draenor that has, yes, this three-dimensional feel to it. And when Poke is saying three-dimensional, it's not like you're looking at a cube and or there's depth or anything like that. There is like your quest chain takes you halfway up this mountain. And then back down the mountain, and you're doing that. You're all over the different scales on your screen. In Draenor, there aren't any of these things. The closest thing that we get is in Tanan Jungle, but even then, there's rounded mountains, and you're able to run down the sides of mountains a lot better. Run up. There's so many more spots to get up and out. Whereas in Legion, you can definitely tell that when they put together the map design, that it is designed with flight in mind. That is part of the reason why some of these quests are up here, some are down here. You can go around an entire mountain.
Well, it's not just quests either. The placement of mines and herbs and things
Yep.
like that have told me that 100% they have meant for you to be able to fly eventually. Because I've spent 5 minutes trying to get to a mine, which I'm sure if anybody goes and checks the auction house, they'll see that that's a thing right now. Because
Yeah.
whoa, at least from what I've seen, you don't want to buy herbs and you don't want to buy ore right now. It is insane.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I have a farmer. I love the beginning of an expansion for the auction hall. By the end of it,
Yeah, and most of the time, yeah, like I agree, but this is more so than I've even seen in the past. Like I kid you not, earlier today, one piece of ore was 100 gold,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me! Like this is crazy,
Yep.
crazy.
So now let's talk about some of the dungeons because I I was so excited for the new dungeons. I know that last night you and me we ended up in a dungeon. and for the record, this was awesome because both me and my wife were leveling. Poke and his wife were leveling. We were in two separate zones, or we thought we were in two separate zones, but we weren't. But we were questing and doing our thing all over, and all of a sudden we queue up for a dungeon because I'm a tank and my wife's a healer. We got instant queued with Poke and his wife. They're DPS. So they were in queue for a really goddamn long time.
Yeah, it's
Probably
about an
forgot they
hour.
were even in queue. That's how long they were in.
It's an hour queue every time at this point. So
And we happened to get the same dungeon. Oh shit! I was not on my tank. I was on my DPS. And we got the same dungeon. We got randomly picked to be in the same dungeon. He has been in his queue for like hours. I was insta queue with my healer wife, and it just so happened. So Poke, have you done all of the dungeons yet? Like the leveling dungeons, obviously not the max level ones.
I know that I've done 5 different ones.
Then you've done all of the leveling dungeons. There's only 5
That's what
leveling.
I thought so. Oh yeah, yeah.
What-
Yes. So yes, I've done all of them.
What do you think of them?
Well, okay. The dungeons are enjoyable. So it's like doing an LFR. The dungeons are enjoyable, but I felt like it was almost impossible not to complete them. Like, I probably could have stood there and bashed my face on the keyboard, and my group still would have been able to finish the instance.
Okay.
I hate that.
Now, wait till you get to max level.
I was going to
Max-
say that, and then I'm sure heroics and mythics are completely different, and that's what they're meant for. The leveling dungeons are almost put there to be that way.
I have
people
done
to
some of
get
the
through.
leveling dungeons at max level, and they are different, like because it scales, and the scaling is done properly. So these leveling dungeons are scaled way back. Think back to when you were at 101 and how simplistic it was. You guys nuked bosses and didn't see half of the boss fight. I did the Nefarian one, where you're in the boss that does the whole totems and then does the 3-card Monty thing. I didn't see that until I was 105 because we were killing the bosses so quick. We never saw the 3-card Monty. I saw it at 105. Then I saw it at 110. And I'm like, holy crap. All of my records I am not beating at 110 with better gear. In fact, actually, I'm a minute to 2 minutes out of what my records were at 101 and 105. Because of the way that it scales. So the leveling dungeons aren't done right. I hate to say it, that and this is the way that the LFR should go, to be completely honest. The higher you are in gear, the more the more that your group should have to see of the mechanics, so that it teaches you.
Well, now see, I've been like I was put in a group when I was 104
Yeah.
with a 110 and a 108.
Yes.
So, like, how do they split that then?
At
Obviously the bosses are. I mean, the enemies are going to be the same level as you are, but we're only going to see a small portion of the fight because
okay.
I was a lower level.
So, think about it as a graph. Okay, so we'll use my video here. Okay, so this side. This is the you can't see that. I'm just pointing at my camera now. Yes, you can. You should facepalm that. I just did it myself. So if you have more higher level people in your group, it is less beneficial to you, because you are going to have longer fights. There's more hit points that those higher level people have to deal with. If you have an entire group of 101s that are raid geared from the previous expansion, you guys will nuke that dungeon like that. Totally like that. And then at 102, the bosses get more health. As they get more health, the fights take longer and longer and longer. So the higher your group level is how that is going to scale. So if you have, let's say you're in a group and it's all 109s and you are 101, that is probably the second longest that the bosses are going to ever take for you, because of the fact that it has more hit points for those 109s. You don't see that, but they do. And so the length of time does this kind of weird wavy thing, but it's really cool, and I love this idea.
Yeah, oh yeah, like matching them up and scaling them that way is fantastic. And that's the flip side of that, because like you said, you know, with everything there's a good, a bad, and a great, and like that's the flip side of that. Even though there are things about each of these things that we talk about, there's not ever going to be something that's just terrible. There are always good, bad, and great things about.
Yeah, they don't have a shipyard.
Each and everything. Yeah, like the expansion as a whole, good, bad, and great. No shipyard to deal with.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, so the dungeons, like leveling up and running the dungeons, I dislike the fact that I feel like it's impossible to fail at them. But at the same time, I mean, again, it's opinion, and it could be the fact that I'm 104 and was already pulling 85, 90k DPS. My wife is 104 pulling 75 to 90,000 DPS. So we were just blowing bosses up. We even got multiple messages as we're leveling, like, oh my god, like, how are you guys pulling that kind of damage at this level? And it's like, well, we already had gear, and those classes are some of the higher end DPS right now.
And
you know, base.
I'm going to record Poke playing in a dungeon, because I don't think I can ever be on Skype with him in a dungeon ever again, because there's this rhythmic, ridiculously loud drumming. I have a feeling, and I have never seen this, but I have a feeling that he does his entire rotation on a rock band drum set. Because it's like whap, 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 and I'm like, holy crap!
I need to get a headset. Is what I need to do.
People with PST would hit the fucking floor listening to you do your rotation. But anyway.
Don't you know the faster and harder you hit the keys, the more damage you do? Come on.
Okay, Yes, it's like
those two things are equivalent.
It's like putting racing stripes on your on your bike.
Yeah.
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 Makes you go faster, right?
Yes. Aerodynamics, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, I had two moments where questing was so great. My head hurts from two quests. There's this Murloc quest in High Mountain at the very, very top. Go do this goddamn quest, Jane. It is the funniest crap ever. I laughed hysterically back when we had to put on a Murloc suit and run around. This time, we became a Murloc. We had to do a mind meld with a Murloc. And I didn't actually do the quest.
You know that once you do a mind meld with a Murloc, you'll always slightly be a Murloc after that, right?
I'm okay with this. I did not do any of the quests. I let my wife do the quests. I just kept spamming my my number 4 button every time it was off cooldown, because all of these Murlocs were coming out in waves. And when you do this quest and these Murlocs are running across the thing, think of the flight of the bumblebees. Da, 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 and they're like, and I don't play with noise.
That was way too good. Like, you definitely are somewhat Murloc now. You're like 10% Murloc.
I was in tears. My wife, all she heard me doing was this. Greatest effing quest of all time. Now, that entire quest chain made me laugh. I had such a great time that I'm going to actually take one of my tunes and I'm going to put it right there. I'm not going to level this tune. I'm having a bad day. I feel like getting a little Murloc-y. I'm just gonna abandon those quests instead of turning them in, and then I'll just keep doing them. Having a bad day. I feel a little Murloc-y. I'm just gonna do some Murlocs. Just leave me alone. You see me? You see me going? Leave me alone. I'm having a bad day. But then there is a quest in Azura that now some of this may be the fact that I did this on night number 1 at about 4:30 in the morning my time. So I was a little tired. But you have to get the fighter chow. Did you do this one yet? Get the fighter chow from one of the monkey guys?
I don't think so.
Okay, then you really need to read this quest all the
Apparently,
way through.
Apparently, I missed both of the funny quests.
I am going to for next episode, I will absolutely read it phonetically, because it is some funny shit. You spend this entire quest cutting a hosen, telling him that he can suck on your manky, that he is a duker, and only to find out at the very end it's a female. It is beyond hilarious. By the end of that quest chain, you could take some of our guild conversations and instead of it being full of some of the most ridiculous and rotten things that a human can say to another human being, just change it with Duker, Mankey, and all of the other things that the Hosen say, and that is what this quest is, and it is so goddamn funny. Like it's another one of those ones that you have to go and do. They put so much thought into these things that Jesus H Christ, you gotta do them. They are so great. So next week I will read that. Now I have a line of questions for you. Now I wrote these suckers down. I've got them right here on my clipboard. Because you've been through High Mountain.
Yes.
And you're the lore master.
Sure.
Yeah, well, you're going to be doing poking 5 minutes, or lore and 5 poking. You know, I've been thinking about the name of your show, and really, it sounds like you're having sex with like Illidan, poking Illidan. 5 minute poking.
Illidan's into that. I mean,
maybe. Don't know. We'll find out.
It's a fairly sexy night elf demon thing.
Well, instead of hair pulling, you can grab his horns.
Exactly.
Anyways. Just throwing that out there. Wow, you smell like fell. Anyway. So is High Mountain the birthplace of the Tauren?
I don't think so.
10,000 years the Broken Shore has been hidden. And it's been not there. And these Tauren have been living there. So, would it not make sense that this was the birthplace of Tauren?
Well, I mean, it could make sense that it would be, but I feel like there's something else there, because they're not just Tauren.
No.
There are other races too.
Well, yeah, but so what would make sense in this particular thing is the same idea as Pandaria, where there were other races in Canada, and they were not like the United States. They were brought into the fold really well and not told that they had to change their culture, like the Hosen or so those sorts of things, right? So that's why I still call Pandaria Canada. But so for this entire conversation, let's pretend that this is the birthplace of the Tauren.
Okay, we can say that there's a possibility that it could be. Yes.
Okay, because I mean it is kind of leaning this direction. That's kind of what it feels like. Now, I want to know who taught these sons of bitches how to be parents. Okay? I barely got into the quest, and the first thing that comes to mind is I had to go save a goddamn baby from a bucket. Because they put the damn baby in a bucket, and oh crap, it fell over the edge, and they're sitting in their goddamn canoe, not going and getting their kid. How the hell did they survive? Like, are they all this stupid?
You do know that humans do very similar stupid things, right?
Yes, but they don't sit there in their canoe and go, can you go get my kid? My kid went on over there. And so could you go and grab that for me? I'm going to stay right here and like at least get the hell out of the canoe and follow. Look like a goddamn concerned parent. But no. Problem number one is they put their baby in a goddamn bucket. That's problem number one. Problem number two is, why the hell was the baby in the goddamn canoe in the first place? You pick up quests. You pick up quests from the brother and sister of this cow in a canoe. They're good babysitters. Let them freaking babysit. Or are you utterly stupid? Is this your milking pail that you put your baby in? Like, these are the kind of... this is why buckets come with warnings. Don't put your baby in there. Drowning warning for babies.
Yeah, see, again, you're surprised by this, but we have things in our world right now, like, I don't know, a table saw that says, do not use this as a ladder. It's a table saw. Why would you climb on it? Like,
because it's got a flat surface, duh.
people and Taurens and other races do terrible, ridiculous, stupid things.
Yeah, but you think about it. You really think about it. The news would be all over the fact that a lady put her baby in a bucket and floated the bucket baby down the river. A very, very, very fast-moving, currented river. And somebody had to go and save their kid. A kid falls over the railing in a zoo. They kill the animal and get the kid out. And then social media just trashes the crap out of these parents because they happen to be just looking over here for a couple of seconds. But this fucking Tauren kid is in a goddamn bucket. And there's strings of people going and saving this thing. Like, how the hell are the Tauren a thing?
What you're telling me is that you do not want a Blizzard employee to spend his weekend making social media integration. You now want me to have Blizzard add social justice warriors into WoW.
Yeah.
So there will be like a social justice Tauren on the side of the river typing on Facebook how terrible of a parent this other Tauren is who let their kid float down the river.
Yeah. I feel that that's fair.
So you take a quest from them to help them finish their Facebook post.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
See, that would make a little bit more
because
more sense.
That does so much good in our world for people. To
even The Sims, the babies get taken away. Like if you don't feed it or you lock it in a room, it doesn't die. The social people they come in and they take the baby. This baby is in a goddamn bucket. You got to go find this baby in a bucket.
Did you complete the quest?
Yeah.
So who's worse? The parent who lost their baby in a bucket down the river or the guy who went and got the baby and gave it back to the parent? I just got you, didn't I?
Didn't think of it that way.
You should have taken that baby back to the local city and turned it over to the authorities.
I couldn't find a fire station.
You should not give it back to the parent.
But I wanted the experience.
I know, right?
I'm already in High Mountain. I need the experience. I need to get this done. I need to get out of this god awful zone. So, but that I am less of a problem. Like I just did a nice thing. They're probably gonna put their goddamn baby in another bucket.
Probably, and the next person coming along questing is gonna have to save it again.
Yeah, you didn't learn the first time.
Millions of times.
Yeah. More people will save that baby.
Yeah. If we had that many people in our world dedicated to saving the starving children, imagine what could happen. If we just offered 16,000 experience for every child you feed, the world sure would be over.
We get Sally Struthers to do the voiceover. Hello, kids. Hello, folks. Please give to UNICEF, and we will send you not only a picture of this child that you are sending $1 to save, and they will send you letters with experience, 16,843 at a time. Africa would be the richest goddamn country just based off of the baby in the bucket quest.
Yep.
Every 4 months, you will receive another picture and a new level. Also, do not worry, you will get some epic grass. Maybe the quest reward will proc, and you will get grass seeds so that you can make your own grass. Yeah, I could totally see that, actually.
World hunger solved. You want to cure cancer? Give people 16,000 experience for coming up with something new. Problem solved. Millions of people across the world will be doing this.
Oh, wow. This public service announcement just became really awesome.
It's super sad that's the fact, but it really honestly is. Like, there are people more dedicated to getting their 16,000 experience in WoW than they are to getting up and going to work in the morning. Like, That's it's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. Anyways, so before we get to that stage where we're now politically incorrect, and this time around, no matter what, no, we're gonna post the show because we don't have Quest Gaming Network saying no, you can't do that. You can't put that. You can't put that show up. No.
We can be as ridiculous as we want to.
Yeah,
be.
I'm going to be the social warrior this time. I'm gonna stop us right here. So, so guys, if you have saved a baby from a bucket, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. Email us.
Yes, and if you didn't save the baby, just to stand up against all that's wrong in our world,
yeah,
please let us know that too.
It's okay. We will not judge you for not saving that baby.
All of us social justice warriors out there, let's get together and let's boycott the baby in a bucket quest.
That's right.
It's just wrong. No one do this quest.
We will all meet in a neutral city like Booty Bay, and we will stand around.
I can't go to Booty Bay.
Oh, okay. Can you go to Gadgekstan?
Yeah, I can do that one.
Okay. Well, everybody will meet in Gadgekstan, and we will all take to Twitter, and we will say how bad it is that this baby is in a bucket.
No more babies in buckets.
Yes. Tauren baby bucket. That's hashtag it. Let's make that. Let's make that shit.
Hashtag Tauren baby bucket. You got it.
Tauren baby bucket. We're gonna make this sucker. Trend. Because babies in buckets, not okay. Not okay. That's why you're in the Horde, not the Alliance.
Oh,
you guys
no.
put babies in buckets.
You just made it about race. Come on.
No, I did not make it about race. I made it about babies in buckets. The
Alliance and the Horde
are not races. They're factions.
There are different races in each one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying. We were on a roll, and you had to go and make it about race.
No, it's not about race. There is no racism here. There's sprites on a screen.
I think you might be racist against cows, Darrick.
I like cows. I ate 2 last week.
Oh, no. Now we all know why he saved the baby in the bucket. He just wanted to eat it. It's messed up, man.
Holy shit. Did you just sucker me in there? Good. That joke was raw, buddy. That joke was raw.
Did we really just have a 10-minute conversation about a stupid baby in a bucket quest?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happens when we don't have a special guest on our show. Speaking of special guests, I right now I get the privilege and the honor of saying it again. We are 21 days away, so that's 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from tonight. On this show, we are going to have Raho from Realm Maintenance.
You mean Raho from Realm Maintenance?
No.
What you mean?
No. Raho from Realm Maintenance.
So you only can't say his name.
Yeah.
The rest of it you can say just fine. Okay, gotcha.
I've been saying Realm Maintenance for 8 years because it happens every Tuesday. But,
gotcha.
But it's like cool whip. You guys never caught that. That's why I did it in the first place. I know that his name is Ro. And I know it's cool whip, but it's not.
Don't try to save yourself now. You done messed it up.
No, you guys just never caught it.
Oh man, poor Ro.
Anyways,
I'm surprised he's coming back on our show after that.
I'm kind of surprised too. But Ro is going to be here. He is going to be in our studio. He's going to be visiting with us. We're going to ask him the hard hitting questions like, why is there an H in his name and it's not pronounced? And we're going to try to find out and get to the bottom of what he thinks about a baby in a bucket. In fact, actually, I'll probably tweet him before the before this episode even airs to find
Are
out.
you just gonna ask him what do you think about a baby in a bucket?
Yeah, I think
If you
that.
ask him just that, it would probably be priceless.
Yeah. So guys, you're gonna want to make sure you follow me on Twitter, because I'm gonna just start randomly asking people what do they think about a baby in a bucket. No, there's not gonna be any extra like it's a quest in World of Warcraft. No, I'm just gonna ask.
Hashtag Tauren baby bucket.
Tauren baby bucket. No, that's right. And so let's see. You know what? Actually, well, I'll make sure that I have some of these for next week. The responses to this, because I mean this is major news. Tauren baby bucket.
Maybe you
Alrighty.
should come up with a random social justice World of Warcraft related question every week. It was quite fun to talk about it.
Is it acceptable to just mind meld with a Murloc? Will be next week. Was Deathwing actually that bad? Oh wow! Alrighty, man. Well, before we sign out, do you got anything else you want to add?
As always, every single week, please keep tuning in, listening to what we have to say. If you have questions, you know how to get in contact with us, guys. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. And well, yeah, you know what? I got really nothing except for this has been Warcraft Nightly News. We are a Knights of Deathbridge gaming production, and I would like to thank you all very much for tuning in for 3 episodes. Yeah, still sounds kind of weird, but it's getting bigger each week. This upcoming week, we're not going to be actually live next Sunday. Somebody is going to Vegas on his vacation, and he's going to be gone. So I don't know if I'm going to do the show by myself or if I'll find a special guest or, you know, we'll see. But we will not be live this upcoming Sunday. But there will definitely be something. Also, make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to Warcraft or to Knights of Deathbridge Gaming. As of tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., there's going to be the Druid Tanking Guide. Just before the show, I was already planning it, putting it all together. As well as there's going to be a second video, which is your artifact weapon. And this is where we begin. This is where we turn on the lights to Legion. So guys, you want to make sure that you subscribe, that you like, you leave as many comments as humanly possible. Okay? Right up over there, there's that subscribe button. Click it. You want to. Do not, I repeat, do not forget to do that. We love that. We love the likes. We like the dislikes. We love the comments. That tells us how we're doing. So, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. And this week, make sure down below in the comments, you talk about the baby bucket. Okay? Because the Tauren baby bucket needs to happen.
Hashtag Tauren baby bucket.
Hashtag Tauren baby bucket. Man, I need to make that actually totally trend. Alrighty, guys. Well, pretty much wraps this up. So I'm Darrick Scott.
And I'm Poke.
And remember, kids, it's all fun and games until you put your kid in a bucket and you float it down the river. Then you get called out on a podcast. And then, you know, the social warriors are going to make sure that, you know, you pay for what you did. Tauren baby bucket. You know what? Actually, that kind of actually sounds way better than puppy monkey baby. Ooh.
A little bit.
Tauren baby bucket. Tauren baby bucket. Tauren baby bucket. Alrighty, guys. This has been Warcraft Nightly News, and I will see you tomorrow.